Did you know? The first Jace Planeswalker card, Jace Beleren, was not a mythic rare. Printed with 4 other Planeswalkers in Lorwyn on October 12, 2007, Jace was a member of the Lorwyn 5. This cycle of Planeswalkers was the first ever of its kind, and all 5 members made a huge impact on the game. However, this first set of Planeswalkers weren't originally intended to release in Lorwyn. Initially, Wizards of the Coast planned to introduce 3 Planeswalkers in the prior set, Future Sight, but it got pushed to the following block. Mark Rosewater, the head designer for Magic, has said publicly that the original 5 Planeswalkers have nothing to do with Lorwyn's story. Jace Beleren, along with the rest of the Lorwyn 5, were printed again 2 years later in Magic Core Set 2010, but this time, they donned the mythic rarity. As of this video's release date, Jace has had 7 unique Planeswalker cards printed and 22 different products with a Jace Planeswalker card. The only other Planeswalker character to come close to the number of times printed is Chandra, who currently holds the title for most unique cards with 8. Since his introduction in 2007, Jace is Magic's most popular character. Mark Rosewater has stated that Jace is the definitive character in Magic's main storyline, and they do not see any hints of him slowing down. As stated in Mark Rosewater's Drive to Work podcast, since the development of the first Planeswalker cards, Wizards intentionally made Jace the de facto poster child for Magic, as he closely identifies with their most common consumer. The font used on Magic cards is named after Jace's surname, Beleren. For the longest time, Magic used Matrix Bold as its primary font on its cards. For the new card frame design introduced in Magic Core Set 2015, Wizards created its own unique proprietary font that's very similar to Matrix Bold. This new font, along with the new card frame, was intended to fight counterfeiting. In January 27, 2009, the novel Agents of Artifice released and the very first promotional card of Jace Beleren was announced. This rare promo was given out at local gaming stores on the weekend of the Conflux pre-release. Each store would receive a copy of the promo for every book they ordered to use as a gift with purchase. The promo's expansion symbol is a pen, which has been featured on 5 other cards. Because the promo was handed out in limited quantities, it is now a desirable card among collectors. The first non-Planeswalker card to feature Jace in its artwork was Negate. Printed in 2009, this full art promo version of Negate was handed out in the now discontinued Player Rewards program. In that same year, Hivemind, Phantom Warrior, and Illusionary Servant were printed in Magic Core Set 2010. These 3 cards were the first to reference Jace in its flavor text. Of the 3 cards, Phantom Warrior was a reprint, while Hivemind and Illusionary Servant were originals. To this day, we haven't seen a reprint of either Hivemind or Illusionary Servant. Dual Decks Jace vs. Chandra is the second installment in the Everlasting Dual Deck series. It is also the first to have Planeswalker characters as the champions for each deck. This installment also featured 2 versions, English and Japanese. Both dual decks came with the exact same list, but the art on the Planeswalker cards were different. The English edition had alternate art foil versions of each Planeswalker that you'd normally see on the typical dual decks. However, the Japanese edition had a very unique take on the art for Jace and Chandra. For their versions, each Planeswalker had alternate art anime foils of themselves. This was the first time Magic ever used an anime style in the art of the cards. As such, the demand for these anime Planeswalkers is pretty high, and sealed copies of the dual decks carry a hefty price in the secondary market. 6 years after Jace vs. Chandra debuted, another dual decks featuring Jace was printed. This time, Jace Architect of Thought was up against the Gorgon Vraska, the Unseen. This is the first ever dual decks to feature a champion for the second time. As of the release of this video, only 25 cards have ever been banned in Magic's most popular format, Standard. Among them is Jace, the Mind Sculptor.
Jace the Mind Sculptor, better than all. Jace the Mind Sculptor.
As the second unique version of Jace, this Planeswalker card was also the first to feature a fourth ability. Released in Worldwake, the second set of the Zendikar block, the Mind Sculptor was a sleeper card. When initially revealed, the general public was ecstatic, but after Worldwake's release, its hype died as the card did not perform well. It wasn't until a year later, after Shards of Alara rotated out and Scars of Mirrodin and its expansion Mirrodin Besieged came in, that Brian Kibler and Team Channel Fireball designed a deck that demonstrated the full potential of this one-of-a-kind card. Debuting at the start of the 2011 season, Caw-Blade, piloted by Ben Stark, won Pro Tour Paris. From there, Jace was practically a 4-of in every Tier 1 deck in Standard. He was so dominant that 4 copies of him were in each deck of the top 8 at Grand Prix Dallas. For a very long time, Caw-Blade and Rug Control were the decks to beat. After 6 months of utter dominance, Jace, along with its accomplice, Stoneforge Mystic, became so powerful that both cards were finally banned in Standard on July 1st, 2011. Bannings in Standard are rare, and the last time cards were banned in that format was 6 years prior when the original Mirrodin block was legal. The banning had a total of 8 cards banned, all centered around an artifact-based strategy called Affinity. The hip-hop/rap group Gatherin released their debut album in early 2011. Out of its 16 tracks, the song Jace the Mind Sculptor became the most popular. The track, written and voiced by Magic Hall of Famer Patrick Chapin, is about the success of its namesake. Jace the Mind Sculptor has been known to be Patrick Chapin's favorite card, and because of that, it led him to write an entire song based around the legendary Planeswalker. Jace's third unique printing, Memory Adept, was introduced in Magic Core Set 2012. This 5-mana Planeswalker didn't see the same success as its predecessors, but it was a win condition in a painfully slow Turbo Fog deck. Jace Memory Adept was reprinted 2 more times in the following core sets, and ties with Liliana Vess in the number of times a unique Planeswalker card has been reprinted in a core set. In 2013, Wizards of the Coast introduced a set of exclusive San Diego Comic-Con promos. This first set featured a cycle of Planeswalker cards from Magic Core Set 2014, which of course included Jace Memory Adept. The following year featured Planeswalkers from Magic 2015 that had Jace the Living Guildpact in it. The year after featured all 5 double-sided Planeswalkers from Magic Origins, with Jace, Vryn's Prodigy, representing blue. And for 2016, it featured a cycle of Planeswalker cards from multiple sets, with an alternate art zombie version of each Planeswalker, except for Liliana, which represented the summoner of these zombie Planeswalkers. Jace is known to have the best Planeswalker cards in competitive Magic, yet when Jace Vryn's Prodigy debuted in Magic Origins, many players deemed him underpowered. As a matter of fact, his initial reception was so dull that he was snubbed from all deck lists in the top 8 of Pro Tour Origins. It wasn't until a month after the Pro Tour when players started realizing how efficient the innocuous 0-2 was. Played in almost every blue deck, Jace Vryn's Prodigy and his other side, Telepath Unbound, dominated Standard. Because of Jace's unexpected rise, the Mythic card's price skyrocketed to almost 3 digits. Not only was the Prodigious Mage powerful in Standard, he made an immediate impact in Modern too. To this day, Jace Vryn's Prodigy has been argued to be Blue's greatest 2-drop creature. His other competition, Snapcaster Mage, is also a Magic wielder of highest regard. The latest unique card of Jace is Jace, Unraveler of Secrets. One of the lead protagonists in Shadows over Innistrad, the Unraveler of Secrets didn't see as much play in Standard as his predecessors. However, he did see success in Hall of Famer Shota Yusuka's Grixis control deck, which took the title at Pro Tour Kaladesh. Thanks for watching Did You Know Magic? This video was voiced by me, Seiben. You can find more videos of mine over on my channel known as the Aether Hub. To do that, simply click the icon on screen or the link in the description below. As always guys, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you next time.